There were no eyes on my mornings, no names calling me up, just the sound of my own breathing and the weight I picked up. The world was sleeping through my effort. The lights were turned off low, but I was building something solid where no one else would go. I trained without witnesses, no applause, no crowd. Every repetition carved my will in silence, deep and loud. I failed when no one saw me fall. I stood where no one clapped. I learned to push through empty days when progress felt like trap. The mirror was my only judge, the floor my only friend. I learned that strength is built alone before it's seen by man. I trained without witnesses when quitting felt so near. I stayed when nothing promised me that change would soon appear. The hours blurred, the seasons passed. The doubt tried to convince, but discipline outlasted fear, and silence kept me fixed. I learned to trust the process without reward or sign, to fall in love with repetition and the slow design. I trained without witnesses, and that's where I was made. The man I am was forged in days no one else displayed. Now when I step into the light and pressure fills the room, I don't need time to find my ground. I already have my room, because I know what's in my bones. I know what I endured. I trained when nothing was promised, and that's why I am sure. So if you see me stand so calm when things begin to shake, know I was ready long before the moment came to take. I train without witnesses, and that's my quiet pride. The strength you see was built alone when no one else would try. I didn't wake up chasing dreams. I woke up carrying weight, the kind you feel in your chest at night when you know you can't escape. Every turn I try to leave, pull me back in line, like the road had hands of its own wrapped around my time. I watch the easy paths go by, full of laughter, light and sound, but something in me wouldn't move. My feet stayed on this ground. I fought it hard, I cursed the miles, I begged for something new, but every door I tried to open led me back to you. The long road chose me, not the other way. It called my name in dust and pain. It broke me down, then taught me how to walk through fire, through wind, through rain. I learned to breathe in empty days, to eat the silence slow, to find a rhythm in the dark when progress wouldn't show. I lost some people on the way, some left without goodbye, but every loss made room inside for a truth that doesn't lie. The nights were cold, the stars were far, the end was never clear, but step by step the road revealed the man I'd meet right here. I stopped asking when it ends, stopped asking who I'd be. I learned the road wasn't taking me, it was carving me. The long road chose me, shaped my hands, taught my eyes to see. It stripped me bare of borrowed wants and gave me clarity. Now when I walk, I don't resist, I don't demand control. I trust the cracks beneath my feet, they're leading to my soul. I don't envy those who turned away or found an easier way. They'll never know the strength you earn when you stay another day. I move with scars, but I move sure I know where I belong. The road still stretches far ahead, but now I'm moving strong. So if you see me walking slow, with dust upon my knees, know this wasn't random chance. The long road chose me. I answer to the quiet when the noise begins to rise. And every voice has plans when the world demands a reason for where I stand. listen. I don't rush a reply. I wait until the room goes still and the truth was by. I learned early not to trust what speaks too fast, too loud. The answers that matter most never come from the crowd. I answer to the quiet, to the space between my thoughts, to the calm that stays behind. When the chaos arrives, it doesn't flatter, doesn't rush, it doesn't need a name. It only asks if I'm aligned with the path I claim. I followed noise before it led me into doubt. Every promise made in panic burned itself out. So now I sit with empty air and let the pressure fall. It's a silence never lies to me. It doesn't lie at all. I answer to the fire when decisions cut like steel. I listen to the steady pulse of what I truly feel. The quiet doesn't come from me, it challenges my spine. It strips away the excuses and leaves me with a line. I've walked away from open doors because the calm said no. I stayed when fear was screaming run, and silence told me go. I answered to the choir. It's the compass that I trust, where no world is solid short just, and fear is solid dust. The nights get long, the doubts return, but stillness holds me firm. I know the difference now between what fades and what will burn. I don't need signs and flashing lights or voices dressed as fate. I trust the quiet to reveal what I must create. So when you see me walk alone and wonder why I stay, yo, I'm not lost, I'm listening in my own way. I answer to the quiet, and it always answers back, not with words but with direction that keeps me on my track. When the world sweeps I build, the lights go out across the street. The noise begins to fade. The clocks slow down, the phones go dark, and silence is unpaid. That's when my hours finally start. When no one needs my face, when expectation leaves the room, and time becomes my space. I light a lamp, I clear my mind, I breathe in empty air. The night doesn't ask power's my own. No witness marks the effort, no record shows the strain, but every night I stay awake, there's strength inside my frame. The darkness keeps my focus sharp, it hides me from the noise. No one is watching, no one's judging, so I can choose my choice. I work through doubt, I work through pain, through days that went too fast. I'm not running from tomorrow, I'm not running the past. When the world seeks our fill, with tired hands and will, the night becomes my discipline. The silence bends until it turns into something solid, something I can trust. I say tomorrow's back home from tonight's dust. The cement wastes these sacred hours, begging sweet for peace. But rest without direction is just another leaf. So I stay up with my purpose until the sky turns gray. I don't need comfort from the dark, I need the word to stay. When the world sleeps, I build, and the morning doesn't know. While we're finished in the shadow, when no one else will go. The sun will rise on silent gain, on plans already done, while others start, I'm halfway there, because my net has won. I don't announce the progress, I don't show a group. The best things I have ever made were made when no one knew. So if you wonder how I move, so steady, calm and strong, no, my foundation was laid. I used to wait for signs to fall, like rain from open skies. I thought the truth would call my name and look me in the eyes. I sat with dreams that never moved and plans that wouldn't start, waiting for the perfect moment to hand me my own heart. But days don't pause for readiness, they move like they don't care. And purpose never breaks the door to ask if you're prepared. Purpose doesn't knock, it doesn't call your phone. It waits for you to stand up straight and walk the road alone. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it doesn't hold your hand. It shows up when you move your feet and choose to take command. I learned that weight and waste the fire that lives inside the chest. That meaning grows from motion, not from hoping for the best. So I stopped asking for direction and built it step by step. I made decisions in the dark and lived with every day. Doesn't knock, it rises when you move it. It's forged in quiet discipline, improving when you choose. The days got heavy, nights got long, I whispered like a friend, but every action cut a line that led me to the end. I saw the men who waited still for fate to make them whole. They stayed in place their whole damn lives and never touched their soul. I didn't want that kind of rest that slowly turns to stone, so I became my own signal and learned to walk alone. Doesn't knock, it's built with daily weight, with choices made when no one's there, and silence seals your fate. Now when I wake, I don't ask why, I know what must be done. The road is mine because I made it, I don't wait for anyone. If you're still sitting by the door, hoping for a sound, know this purpose is already here, it's just not looking around. It's waiting for your first hard step, your first refusal to stall. Because purpose never comes to you, you rise and then you call. The summit, the climb was long, the air grew thin. With every step I took, I carried a weight I never shared, and answers no one shook. Below I heard the distant noise, the voices full of doubt. They cheered the start, they loved the fall, but never stuck it out. The higher I climbed, the quieter it got. The echoes disappeared. The things that once felt heavy finally go clear. There's no crowd at the summit, no hands reaching out, no sounds, no flags, no open arms, just silence all around. I thought the top would feel like fire, like victory and nights I stay when leaving would have been last times. There's no crowd at the summit, no one waiting there, just a man I built his shadows standing in the air. Dumb salt is heavy in this place, it doesn't try to shine. Success is quiet at the time and only by design. I see now why so many stop so close to what they want. They're not afraid of failing hard, they feel what they confront. The silence strips you of your noise, their titles and your claim, and leaves you with the simple truth: you get this for your name. There's no crowd at the summit, and I finally see the climb was never meant to bring a prize to me. Trust my own 2 feet in my gland. I don't stay long, I breathe it in, then turn my face around, because the work is not the peak. Then time to step back down. So the mornings come without a word, no warmth, no gentle start, just habits waiting in the dark, and orders from my heart. The chair is cold, the floor is still, the clock refuses to lie. It doesn't care how I feel today, it only asks me why. I've lost a lot along the way, I've watched names fade to dust, but one thing never left my side, and that is what I trust. Discipline is my company, it sits with me at night. When comfort leaves and doubts arrive, it stays and keeps me right. It doesn't praise, it doesn't beg, it doesn't need my mood. It only shows up every day and asks to be renewed. I've seen men break from loneliness and chase a softer hand, but I found peace and structure built where I alone could stand. When voices fade and rooms grow wide, when silence starts to ring, discipline becomes the friend that steadies everything. Discipline is my company when nothing else remains. It keeps my feet on honest ground and cleans my thoughts of stain. It holds me to my chosen path. It doesn't let me drift. It turns the weight I carry now into a steady lift. The world is loud with easy lies and comfort sold as truth. But discipline has never failed to show me what to do. It sharpens days, it narrows choices, makes the small things count. It builds a life from quiet acts that others won't amount. Discipline is my company when nights refuse to end, when I'm too tired to believe. It makes me move again. I don't romanticize the road or dress the pain in gold. I follow rules I set myself and do what must be told. And when I reach the edge of strength and think I cannot stay, discipline doesn't speak a word, it simply leads the way. So if you wonder how I stand when others disappear, no, I was never walking alone. The path gets thin where voices stop, where signs no longer speak. The ground remembers every step and tests the strong and weak. I've seen a town where many leave with reasons carved in fear. They choose the light, they choose the crowd. I keep walking here. The wind is sharp, the air is bare, no comfort in its tone. But every mile without a guide feels closer to my own. I walk where few remain, where doubt is burned away, where silence weighs more than the past and truth decides the day. No hand to pull me through the dark, no map to make it kind, just breathing bone and steady will and a disciplined mind. The night stretched long without relief, the stars feel far and cold, but every step I take alone makes my resolve grow. I don't complain to empty hills, they don't respond to sound. I let the pressure shape my form where no one else is found. I walk where few remain, where excuses cannot live, where everything you carry in is all you have to give. The easy road is wide and warm, it calls me now and then, but I remember what it cost. to be like other men. So I keep choosing narrow line, where strength is quietly earned. I lose the parts that wanna quit, and keep what must be burned. The air gets thin, the pace gets slow, but clarity gets sharp. I hear the rhythm of my steps like a steady beating heart. I walk where few remain, not out of pride or hate, but because my soul refused to rest at someone else's gate. When I arrive, there's no applause, no banner, no refrain. Just the man I shaped in silence, standing in the same. So if you see me far ahead, a shape against the grain, no, I didn't drift or wander here. I walk where few remain. I close the door, the world goes still. No echoes follow me. The air is thick with nothingness, and that's where I can see. Outside, the chaos begs for blood, for speed, for sound, for flame. But in this room I leave behind the hunger for a name. No screens, no voices pulling me, no rush to interfere. Just breathing thought and empty space where truth becomes sincere. I sit with things I tried to hide, the doubts, the fear, the ache, and in the quiet they lose power. They have no sound to make. This is the room without noise, where I remember who I am. No need to fight, no need to run, no need to understand. The world can shout, the world can spin, it doesn't reach me here. In silence, every lie dissolves, and every line gets clear. I hear my heart beat slow its pace, like it's learning how to lead. Each thought falls gently into place. No rush, no need to bleed. Time stretches wide and soft, like it's waiting for my move. And in this quiet I don't chase, I choose. This is the room without noise, where the armor falls away, where I don't carry yesterday, and tomorrow cannot stay. I feel the weight leave my shoulders, I feel the mind unwind. The loudest truths I've ever known were spoken without sound. I don't escape the world in here, I face it stripped and bare. Without distraction I can see what's real and what's repaired. The storms I feared grow smaller now, the doubts begin to fade. when nothing speaks, I finally hear the choices I've delayed. This is a room without noise, where discipline feels light, where clarity replaces fear and darkness turns to sight. I don't stay long, but I return when life begins to blur, because the quiet resets my soul and sharpens what I stir. So when you see me calm and slow, while others break or shout, know I've been somewhere still and deep, where noise can't get me out. The room without noise is not escape, it's ground. It's where I learn to stand again before I face the sound. They talk loud when they're unsure, fill the air with sound. Every word a shield they raise, so no one sees them drown. I learned early not to rush, not to spill my fire. A flame protected from the wind burns longer, burns higher. I move slow, I move precise, I don't waste my breath. I've seen how noise can eat a man before it tastes his death. Quiet man lasts longer, that's a truth the years will tell. We don't shine fast, we don't explode, we learn to age and well, while others burn through all they are in moments made to show. I keep my strength in hidden rooms where patience learns to grow. I've watched empires built on talk collapse in a day, and men who needed to be seen quietly decay. So I let time become my ally, I let silence lead. Every step I take is slow, but planted deep. Longer, we don't beg for eyes, we let the weight of who we are speak when time arrives. The storms come hard, the nights get long, but calm becomes my shield. I don't react to every hit, I let the ground take yield. I've learned restraint is not a cage, it's freedom with a key. The man who masters what he says commands what he will be. When losses come, I take them in, I don't announce the pain, I let it carve a deeper base where strength will remain. Quiet men last longer because we listen, where we hear the cracks before they break. We read what words won't tell, the years will test the loud and fast. They always, always do, and when the dust begins to settle, you'll see what still stands true. I don't need noise to mark my days or prove I still belong. My life is built in steady lines, not fast but built strong. Quiet man lasts longer, and I made my peace. I chose a road of silence first, so my strength would never leave. Alone was the training. I thought the silence was a curse, a door that locked me in. Days stretched long without a voice, no place to fit my skin. I watched the world through distant glass, laughing, moving fast, while I was left with empty hours and questions from the past. At first I fought the loneliness, I begged the doctor to leave, but empty rooms don't answer prayers, they only teach you to breathe. So I stayed and I listened to the echo in my chest. I learned that being alone that long wasn't failure, it was test. Alone was the training, no comfort, no disguise. Every weakness came to surface with nowhere left to hide. Alone was the training, no hand to pull me through. I learned to stand by standing still until my center grew. The nights were heavy like a weight that pressed against my bones, but every hour I endured, I felt my backbone grow. I faced the things I ran from, the fears I never named. When no one's there to blame the fall, you learn to own the pain. The mirror became honest, the excuses fell apart. I met the man beneath the noise and trained him in the dark. Alone was the training, the discipline, the fire. I sharpened focus in the quiet and learned to aim higher. And when crowds surround my name, I don't forget those days when silence was my only coach and patience was the pay. I move with calm, I speak with care, I don't rush, I don't chase, because I know what it took to build this unshakable base. I don't fear being left behind or walking without sound. I learned the strongest ground is formed where no one else is found. Alone was the training, and I wouldn't trade the cause. It took the parts that couldn't last and burned away the loss. So if you find yourself alone with nothing but your mind, stay there, that's where the work begins. That's where you're being designed. Alone was the training, and now I understand. The man I am was built by time and shaped by my own hand. The sun was never waiting when I opened tired eyes, just cold air on my face and silence telling lies. The floor would bite my feet, the mirror looked away. Another day of empty rooms, another test to stay. No one knew the battles fought before the light appeared. No one saw the hands that shook or tasted quiet fear. But I kept moving anyway, through frost and breath and doubt. I learned the man I wanted was the one I built without. Cold mornings made me when comfort didn't come, when the world was still asleep and I still had to run. Cold mornings made me when excuses froze and died, when discipline was all I had and pride was pushed aside. The air was sharp like broken glass, it cut me into shape. Each breath a promise to myself that I would not escape. The streets were empty witnesses, they never spoke a word, but every step I took alone was a lesson I deserved. I learned to light my own fire with hands that barely moved, to find a reason in the cold when nothing else was proved. The warmth came slow if ever, but strength came every day. I stopped asking for the easy road and learned to stay. Cold mornings made me more than comfort ever could. They taught me how to stand alone when no one understood. Now when the sun finds my face, it feels like something earned. I carry heat inside my chest from lessons I have learned. I see men break at little things and nights that aren't that long. They never met the early hours where we become strong. I don't chase warmth from outside, I built it in my bones. The cold taught me endurance in places no one goes. Cold mornings made me, and I don't forget their cause. They took the boy I used to be and left what wouldn't be lost. So when you see me calm and still with fire in my eyes, know I was shaped in frozen hours where truth never lies. Cold mornings made me, and they're still making me. Every day before the world wakes, that's where I learned to be. I used to answer every question like I owe the world my skin. I tried to make them understand where I'd been, what I was in. I carry reasons like a debt heavy in my hand, till I learned silence holds more truth than words they never planned. Now I move without excuses, without a need to prove. If you don't see what I'm becoming, that's not mine to move. I don't explain myself anymore, I let the work speak first. I let the years I didn't waste answer what you heard. I don't defend the road I walk or slow my pace for eyes. If you need noise to feel secure, that's where we divide. I learned that clarity is lonely and honesty is rare. Most people want a story, not the weight of what is there. So I stopped giving them my time, stop selling them my truth. I kept my fire for the long nights when discipline was proof. I don't explain myself anymore, the silence suits me well. It's where I learned to carry weight and where I learned to stand. My choices don't need witnesses, my scars don't need a name. I paid for everything I am and I remember every flame. The past still whispers sometimes, asking to be heard, but I don't answer old questions with a version that's absurd. I've seen how words get twisted, how intentions rot, so I let my presence finish what my mouth will not. I don't explain myself anymore, I not walking, that's enough. The calm you see is not retreat, it's pressure being tough. I'm not cold, I'm not distant, I'm precise with what I give. I learned the cost of open doors and how I choose to live. If you stand close, you'll feel it. The truth I never say, it's in my steps, it's in my eyes, it's in how I stay. I don't explain myself anymore, because I finally see the man who needs no justification is the man I had to be.
Heavy steps, clear mind, before the noise can breathe. The floor is cold, the air is still, and the world still sleeps. My boots remember yesterday, the miles, the weight, the strain. Every step I take today still carries yesterday's pain. I don't rush the road beneath my feet, I let it feel me come. Each step a vow, each breath a rule, I move like a loaded drum. Heavy steps, clear mind, no chaos in my head. The louder the ground beneath me breaks, the calmer what I said. I learned to walk through resistance like it was part of the air. To carry down without complaining, leave it standing there. The body aches, the bones still talk, but the mind is still and wide. I trained it not to beg for rest, not to run or hide, while others chase the faster way and lose themselves in speed. I measure time in quiet wins and things I don't need, yeah. Heavy steps, clear mind, I know where I'm going now. I don't need signs or open doors, I only need my vibe. The past still knocks some night with stories it once told, but I don't open, I just listen and let the silence hold. The world is loud with borrowed fear, with endless empty sound. I stay where the weight is honest, where truth is found in ground. Each morning shapes the man I am, each mile writes my name. I don't escape this discipline, I walk it into flame, yeah. Heavy steps, clear mind, this balance keeps me strong. The weight I carry on my back is proof I still belong. I'm not light, I'm not free, I'm steady, slow and sure. I traded ease for clarity and found something pure. So when you hear me coming close, it's not anger, not a fight. It's a man who learned to walk with darkness and with light. Oh, heavy steps, clear mind, that's how I move through time. No rush, no fear, no wasted breath, just a straight, enduring line. sweet the morning breaks. No audience, no sound, just a shadow stretching on the wall, and the weight of being bound, bound to work that no one sees, bound to days that look the same, while the world is chasing noise. I'm sharpening my name. I'm moving hours no one counts. I breathe an empty space. No clapping hands, no borrowed eyes, yeah, to tell me I'm in place. The mirror never lies to me, it only asks for proof. And every scar I carry now is signed in living truth. I don't need light to do the job, I don't need praise to stand. The fire I keep is under skin and answers to command. I've seen men talk their lives away, begging crowds to care. I chose to build in quiet rooms where only I was there. Every step is measured slow, every promise kept. I plant my roots in deeper ground while louder voices slip. No witness needed for this fight, no record of the pain. I make the same hard choice each day until the change remains. The road I walk won't trend or shine, it doesn't beg for eyes, but it will hold me when I fall and rise. When I rise, the silence keeps my secret safe. It doesn't steal my breath, it teaches me to carry weight and look straight into death dive. I've learned that power grows at night, when no one calls your name, when you stay loyal to the work and let go of the fame. If I collapse, I rise alone. If I endure, I win. No choir sings my victories, they echo deep within. So let them doubt, let them forget, let them look away. I'll still be standing when they fade, build stronger every day. No proof beyond my bones. I am the work, I am the test, I answer to my own. And when the world finally turns to ask how this was done, I'll say nothing, I already paid in silence one by one. I'll say nothing wrong. I learned my name in an empty room, where echoes never answered back. The world was loud with borrowed shoes, but I was busy laying track. No hands were there to lift me up, no voices cheering when I fell. I made a promise to the dark, I'd turn this quiet into hell. I built myself in silent hours, when no one cared, when no one knew. I stacked my days like broken stones, and bled until the shape was true. The nights were long, the air was cold. My doubts were louder than my breath, but every fear I faced alone taught me the language of what's left. I watched the weak demand the light, I watched the lost beg to be seen. I stay with shadows, learn their ways, and carve my strength between the seams. No, 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 no praise, no crown, no open door, just footsteps on a narrow line, while others waited to be saved. I learned to say my own damn time. Silence became my discipline, a hammer striking through my bones. Each lonely choice, each hidden scar, turned empty space into a throne. I don't explain what I became, I don't defend the road I chose. The truth is forged in unseen fire, and only I can feel it glow. Now the calm you hear is not my peace, it's pressure held beneath the skin, a quiet storm that never speaks, but never breaks and never bends. Now when I walk, the ground knows me, the air moves different when I pass. I'm not the man I used to be, I'm built from nights that couldn't last. So if you hear me say no word, know this, the work was never loud. I wasn't made by open arms, I was made when no one around. Built in silence, shaped by time, by every loss I didn't show. I am the proof of quiet men who grow where no one dares to go.